Hello and welcome everybody to a new episode of First Thoughts. Today I'm not alone, I'm with Mirco.
Hi.
And we want to discuss the new Vegeta leader. Basically this one who starts at the front side as a Margin Vegeta and goes to SS Blue. I got Mirco with me because Vegeta is not only his favorite character in the entire series, but he's also a red black enjoyer, and when this deck was first revealed, it seemed like Mirco made this, so I thought like he's perfect for this video. Quickly going over the leader, it's a warp leader, something similar which also the SSG Trunks do. So basically activate main, you warp 2 cards from the top of your deck, warp 1 card from your hand, draw 2, which is pretty cool. And then if you have 5 or more Saiyans in your warp, color doesn't matter, you draw 2 cards and go down to 6. Backside is pretty similar. And when your Saiyan card attacks, no matter what card, you reset 1 card from warp to drop. Activate main, 1 Saiyan from hand to warp, draw 2. And activate battle, once per turn you can combo from your warp, which is pretty cool to set up Z energy to make some plays happen. We now go over deck choices. This means we won't show you a whole list like I did for Mechikabura, but we will show you every card we think might be playable or might not be playable and give you reasons why or why not. So this is more like an exchange while trying to build an optimal deck list. So starting off is a checklet. Mirco, can you explain why this might be a good idea to play?
Yeah, the best checkland that you have in this leader, because it's not it's black and also treated as a red, or it's red and also treated as black. So it's no multicolor, or every card that says all of your energy must be red. Maybe your Raditz super combo, it's gonna work because it's red and also at the same time black. So it's the best checkland, and you have to play it. Also the next card also, because it's the same one.
Yes.
Here's just which ratio you play, 6 or do you play 8. That I don't know now yet, but I'm pretty sure it's minimum of 6.
Yeah, I guess also 6 will be the case because you want minimum 2 cards here for reasons we might discuss later on, if not even 3 to be honest. These cards are pretty cool if you go over the rulings because they count as red, as black, and as mono red. And this mono red thing makes the stuff happen which Mirco mentions, basically using super combos which are tied to you having mono red energy. This is the only card handled this way. There are other cards which have also this permanent, but they don't specify all areas. So this basically is the only checkland which doesn't have energy exhaust and is treated as a mono color card as well. This is pretty huge. Then going over the 1 drops or 3 drops of the deck. I mean, this is pretty straightforward. I guess you will play them at a ratio of 4 to 8. I think it depends on how big your deck is and how tight your deck is. And I guess it would be pretty tight. Pretty simple. If you have 2 or more Saiyan cards in your warp, it's a 1 cost, 1 red specified. And it has a cool activate main, therefore it needs to be on the board. Your leader needs to be a red Vegeta card, and you need to have 4 or more energy. And then you can play up to 4 total red and or black Saiyan cards, or place up to 4 total red and or black Saiyan cards from your warp into their owner's drop. So it's a way to refill your drop from your warp. The other card has basically the same effect, but this pretty cool effect. You can search top 5 for red Saiyan any cost, which I think is like the best 1-drop searcher you have in red now, if you are warping.
Yeah. It's nice that the searching is no energy restriction. That is pretty cool.
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
search any red Saiyan. It's that is a very good searcher.
Yeah, and now to get into this effect, I put a card on here for the activate main. I put a card on here to discuss, which is this unison basically. If you remember BT18, you might remember him. If you play him, you can do a top 3 search for any red card. But the most important thing is the +2. You can play up to 1 red battle card with an energy cost of 1 from your hand in rest mode. So potentially, if you have space for that and you have time for that to play that, which I don't know if it might be the case or not, you can play those guys in rest mode and then just do the activate main once you're on 4 energy. What do you think about this unison here for this deck?
I think it's a good choice because a little bit later we see one card you can with that card you can combo cards in rest mode. So I think that is a good choice, and you have to test the unison in the deck. I'm not sure it's too expensive because you have a lot of free plays in that deck. We see it a little bit later, but I'm not sure if the two energy costs it's too expensive. But we will see it when we testing this deck, maybe the weekend or next week. But I think you have to take a look on that unison because you have the card and you can combo in rest mode cards from a battlefield. So I think you have to try the unison. Yeah,
and then if you fit space for that in here, you can free play something, do a free top 5 search or a free draw, do the free activate main to reset your drop, and then combo this even. So this would be huge if you can fit space for it inside the deck. But like you said, 2 energy, maybe it's too tight, but maybe it's possible because of the free plays. Then going over some other archetype cards. I think dual attack is pretty huge for this deck in general, because your leader resets your drop every time a Saiyan attacks. So this is why this one has dual attack. So you can basically, when you swing twice, put 2 cards from your warp back into your drop. You can also place up to 2 other cards back from your warp into your drop while playing that card. And you can minus a card 2 times on swing. So in total with this card, you get 20k dual with deflect. You reset 4 cards and you minus 30. I feel this is pretty huge. Then going over the SS3 Son Goku, so we stay with Son Goku. This one was revealed yesterday, and when I saw this card, I was like, what the fuck? Because it doesn't only just replace itself, but it also resets your drop again. And then it has 20k crit, and you deal 1 damage if your opponent tries to counter that when he has 3 or more lives. So this card most likely guarantees your opponent to lose value, either in hand, because they will combo to get out of that crit, or they will crit a life, or they will negate and therefore take a damage. How do you feel about this card? It's a 4-off, right?
100% 4-off. One of my favorite decks. Best thing is replace himself with the draw 1. Also set up your drop, and the auto is it's pretty huge. It's crit and 20k and the deal 1 damage if he want to counter. It's a great card. You have to play it forth.
Yeah, I guess so too. And this one is a more generic one. Also got revealed today. I think this is a huge buff for red in general. What do you think about this card in this deck in specific?
It's one of the new red staple cards for me because it's 20k blocker, barrier, dual attack, whatever. It's great. Also on play the minus 20. It's a great card. You can play it in Pan. It's great. In any U7 deck, it's great. I think it's a very good card.
Yeah, I guess so too. So I told Mirco I love playing U7 Gohan, Warriors of Universe 7, where you want to combo skillless cards anyway. And he is a U7. He is searchable from the red Gohan 1-drop. So he will be a staple in red for a long time. I think one of the best generic cards revealed in this set.
I love to see to see every card that has 15 or 20k very generic for Pan because that is the best thing again for Pan because it's you draw 1 when it's the first card, get minus, then we have the Anibox Pan, another minus 20. It's a great card for a lot of red decks.
It's crazy. It's crazy. The negging, the drawing, everything from this card. The flexibility of being a dual attacker or dual blocker with barrier on it. It's crazy. 4-drop also means it's searchable by a lot of top 5 searchers in general. So this is also huge. Then we have our first boss monster for the deck, which is this Vegeta. You play him for 2. If your opponent has 3 or more energy, you draw 1. Then you reset 3 cards from your warp into your drop. And when this card is played or removed from a battle area by an opponent's skill, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards or unisons, and it gets minus 30k power for the turn. I think it's a great boss monster. You get everything you want from it for red, minus 30. Also, when it gets removed, minus 30 again. Replace it itself, sets 30k double. It resets your warp. Do you think this will be a 2, 3, or 4 off?
Maybe 2 to 3, not 4. Yeah. 4, I think it's. I don't think you have much space to play a lot of cards as a 4 off. So, but the effect is that he played and removed is very strong. Also, that I like a lot is minus unisons. That is great. It's Also draw 1. And also replacing cards from warp to drop. I think the whole mechanic of the leader and the core, I like it very much. I'm pretty excited to play it, and I think the boss monster is a good one. But maybe 2 or 3 is enough.
Yeah, we might even have a better boss monster with this one because it just costs 1 less. It doesn't have double strike, but this is the card we mentioned earlier with comboing and rest mode. When this card is played, you can use rest mode battle cards without unique skills and combos until the end of your opponent's turn. Important, when this card is played, so this is a lingering effect. Even if this card is removed by your opponent, the effect is still live. So if you play this card, you can combo everything from your board, which has not unique, no matter if in active mode or rest mode. Also, when this card is used in a combo from your battle area, you can minus something for 10, which I think is okay. I don't know if it will make a huge difference. Maybe together with the Vegeta, if you want to minus something with 40 or something. I'm not sure. But also a huge part is if you play this card, you draw 2 and you discard 2. So this card cycles a lot. How do you feel about this card?
It's 2 things. The best thing is clear the combo in rest mode. That is great. Until the end of your opponent's turn, it's really great. But the effect that you also cycle your deck, I think it's very good because I'm not sure which super combo I prefer.
Yeah.
But with this effect, it's a very good effect because dead cards in my hand, I would say it, I can put it in the drop 2, and the best thing is draw 2 and then discard 2, not discard 2, draw 2.
Exactly.
I think that's 2 very good skills. The middle one, the second auto, it's okay. You can, it's okay, but not this effect. Oh, I want to play this card. It's a 8-drop, 30k, and then draw 2, discard 2 is great. But the best thing on that card is a combo in rest mode.
Yeah, if you ask me about my honest opinion, I would put this one at 3 and maybe the Vegeta at 2 because the Vegeta seems to be like killing something big. But this one is like, I mean, if you flood the board with 1-drop plays, and then you swing with everything, and then at the end you swing with your leader and combo the rest, it just seems so much value. Because let's be realistic, in most matchups your board won't survive the enemy's turn if you're not playing against yellow or something. So you can just combo them away and have fun with it. This was the archetype. Oh no, this was not the archetype. We're coming to the black portion of the deck. So these are all cards you can play from your warp by putting a specific amount of cards from your drop to their warp. This is pretty interesting. So we have 3 candidates. This is the Merchant Vegeta. Your leader needs to be awakened to do that, which I think is okay and will happen most of the time anyways in turn 2. And then you can play either a 15k servant card, so 25k, or you can play a 15k Rosé, which can warp a card from your opponent's hand. Or for 1 energy and 10 cards, you can play a 30k beat stick, which warps something ignoring barrier, which is something red usually doesn't do. I think all of these 3 things are cool because they are free. And also good part about this effects, you first warp the stuff and then you play this card from your warp. So the way I understand it, but maybe I need to look that up in the ruling, you can put him from your drop to your warp and then play him from your warp. But I'm not sure about that part. How do you feel about the inclusion of those cards? I'm hesitant if it's worth it to run those or to run Overrealm. I'm not sure, to be honest. What do you think?
Every card that is free play is great. And also, I'm sure I wanna play maybe 2-2 on the Vegeta and on the Rosé, and also a lot of Overrealm, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
But I think you have to play cards that is free to play. So the Margin Vegeta is a free 25 combo. Attacking card. So and 25 for free, it's great. So and also the Rosé one, I think you have also played. We will see it after a few rounds. Okay, is that good? Is it not good? But I'm a huge fan of free plays, and Bandai had a lot of ban cards with free plays because it's not fair that you have so much stuff to play for free. And it is a red-black deck, so you also run maybe the Migra Unison, Z Unison, so you have 2 Overrealms, 2 free plays. That is a lot. So you have to manage your drop and warp, but I think you can figure it out. And I think you have to play the black cards. Not the Broly one, we can get it now, I think, the Broly one. But the other 2 guys, you have to play. This one is good because red has the problem with barrier removal. But I think 10 Saiyans.
Yeah, this is a lot. Lot. Basically, when combining this one with an Overrealm 4, you also have like 10 cards you need to warp. But the order is different, and your leader resets something every time, right? And Beast Gohan even puts 2 in the drop. So this card, the more we talk about it, the better it is in this deck, to be honest. So you easily get to 4 again with like 2 swings and this play. So basically just play this, put 2 from hand and drop, swing with that, reset 1, swing with leader, reset 1. Then you have 4 again for another Overrealm 4. And then basically it comes down to how many swings you can dish out with Saiyans to reset it. But 10 seems a lot. Also, it's not 10 for free, but 10 and then a red energy. So, I mean, if you don't have many swings anyway and you need that barrier removal for whatever reasons, fine, go for it. But since we are black, we have a better solution we're coming to in a second.
My guess is maximum 2 copies, maybe just 1. I'm not sure. It's a 8-drop, so maybe if you want to run SS4 Son Goku Beyond All Limits, you can not put it from the warp to your hand. So if you warp it, it's dead. But
you play it from warp. It's okay.
I see it now. You play it. Okay, well, that is
maybe 1 copy in case you warp it and you don't see everything else.
Maximum 2, because I think we have, when we play it black red, we have a better barrier removal. My opinion. But I'm pretty excited to test this deck. And then maybe in after a few rounds, I can take my guess how many copies.
Now we're coming to the more generic cards. So this was the whole archetype revealed so far. Maybe we will see a secret for this deck or for the Jiren deck that is missing. We're not sure, but now we're coming to generic card, or not so generic card. This is like the newest TP. This is the Vegito. Basically a counter attack, limit 1, play this card, choose up to one of your cards, get 30k power for the battle, and you can activate this counter for free by putting 2 Saiyans from your drop to your warp. Which, I mean, this deck resets your drop, so it's easy to set up 2 cards and drop again. And then you have basically 1 negate and a blocker on field. And it's also a Saiyan card for your leader, basically to burst from or to warp from the top of your deck. So you don't have the risk of warping extra card. I think this is a must 4-off, in my opinion, at the moment.
Yeah, for me too. I don't want to run testing the opposition.
Yeah.
Because
No, me
it's a
neither.
Saiyan. Yeah, it's a Saiyan.
Yeah, this one.
And yeah, this one. This is a Saiyan that is for me in this deck better than testing the opposition.
Yeah.
It's not a hard negate. You going into a activate battle step, but
Yeah.
you get 30k for the battle. So
Which could also be good, because imagine playing this card, twinning twice with it. Your opponent swings in you activate Vegito, right? So your leader gets 30k plus, then you're at 45. And then you use your leader ability to combo from Warp, which then means Goku basically goes active, you generated a Z energy, and you're safe. So this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I guess this one will also be a 4th, by the way. It reads too good. The more I read it, it doesn't replace itself, but yeah. Then the other negate of the deck, this costs 1, and you need to have 4 Saiyans in your Warp. This is life every time, basically.
Basti, sorry. The Vegito, it's also for me the choice, because it doesn't any. You have to be on 6 life, and you can make counter attack. That is a big thing, because you're going down to 6, so testing the opposition is not ready.
It's not live,
you know, this one is live. So that is my point on that card. I think you have to run it 4 times. And also a Saiyan, it's too good. It's too good. It's a great card.
Yeah, also this one, basically for 1, you negate this tag and play this card. When this card is played, you draw 1 and you reset 1 card from Warp and Drop. I don't know how many copies of this guy you will run. Basically, it's just a negate, which replaces itself, which is cool. But I'm not sure, to be honest. Maybe 2-3 copies. I don't know.
Yeah, it's I think it's a way in which style you want to play this. If you want to play aggression and you want to tap out because you have the Vegito counterattack, you have your barrier blocker Goku on field. If you want to have the energy open for that, I'm not sure. But
maybe if you get floodgated by Dorman and you don't have anything other to play in your opponent's turn, you will do that instead of Vegito. Then coming to negates, I think this card won't do well in this deck. Because you don't have a Z extra card which belongs to your archetype. And the more time passes, the less good this card gets, basically. So a lot of decks nowadays go around Explosive Dance. Maybe it's more of a side deck option against decks that don't usually combo. This could be a case. But also, it's not a Saiyan card. So the more extra cards we put into our deck, the higher the risk that we can't awaken in turn 2, and this leader doesn't have an alternative awaken. If you don't have 5 cards in your Warp, you can't awaken, and then your opponent just swings 1,000 times in you and you can't do shit. What do you feel about Explosive Dance in this deck?
The same like you, because when it comes out, is one of the greatest red floodgates. It's maybe my best floodgate in red was the old Violent Ray before the errata. So Explosive Dance getting more bad after set after set after set, because many decks are putting cards into your Z energy. Many cards have an auto to combo on drop or warp or on field. So, and also is the thing, do you want to have, if this deck has an Z extra that you need to awaken, maybe that is a good card, but you have to put in Z extra, and then you have to 1 energy for Explosive Dance. Explosive Dance is a great card in maybe Gohang's Android 17, 18. Every also in Kitku, every deck that have to maybe to awaken a Z, if you needed a Z extra to awaken, that is a great card, but it's also live on 4 lives, so I don't know. Maybe a side deck option, yes, but I'm pretty sure it's not a card that is going to my main deck.
Yeah. Then going quickly over the rest of the cards, I think this will be your floodgate of choice, to be honest. You can activate it for free, so you can put out every aggression. You can use it even if you're above 4 life to have the floodgate live. and it just buys you the time you need, to be honest. You can also use it for free, which works well with your whole Vegito also. If you activate it for free, you discard a Saiyan, then Vegito might be live for the next swing. It works wonders, and I think we will see this card being played more often nowadays.
Yes.
Then super combo of choice. So we have, in my opinion, 2 super combos we can run, which is the Pan or also the Videl from the other Vegeta deck. Basically 2 or more Z Energy, Z Leader or Z Battle card, draw 1. Or we have the typical Raditz. Against Raditz is the fact that your leader goes down to 6. You have Self-Awakeners, yes, but it might be a little bit iffy to go down to 4. Bad thing about Pan is you can't really bottom deck to draw or to see 2 new cards. But maybe this is not needed because with Beast Gohan we have already our draw or cycle engine. And we can get rid of cards. I think this will also be a testing thing. Maybe it also comes down on how you want to play your deck.
Yes.
Then quickly going over generics, we're already like at 26 minutes, so I will quickly open up a few cards and talk about these generic choices. So these are, in my opinion, the best generic choices you can have in your deck for multiple reasons. First off, Broly is just a huge crit which replaces it itself, which is always cool. More decks don't run it anymore, I think because there might be better choices, but it's still an option. Another option is this Gohan. We were discussing this Gohan in voice messages on my way home, and we thought it might not be easy to set up, but I totally forgot this leader ability. So you can easily generate enough Z energies because you can free combo once per turn. And then this Gohan is another great Saiyan card, which basically negates a play, so can react to a play. I think this card will also be a 2/3 off. Then this Golden, which for whatever reason they reprinted. I don't think this card is worth running anymore. It's cool, it resets itself or replaces it itself, but I don't know. I feel there are better choices.
Yes.
Then this card also does see some play in Pan once in a while. Basically, the reason for playing this card in this deck is because you place the card under it in your drop, so you immediately reset your drop for another play, but also you minus 30 something. So if you're in need to minus something big, besides the Vegeta, you might have this card for 1 energy and then also 20k swing. Might be worth running, might not be worth running. I think it comes down to how you play the deck. This card is pretty interesting because, like I said, every time you swing with something, you reset your drop. This card by itself is a 25k dual attack. You don't need to do this auto. This auto says when this card attacks, choose any number of your battle cards and they get minus 10k power for the turn. Choose up to the same number of your opponent's battle cards with 25k power or less and KO them. So this is basically a way to remove small bodies, but just by itself it's a 25k dual swing, which might be pretty interesting. You can play it if your opponent has more battle cards than you have in your battle area. Chances are high that this is the case. I think the most interesting part, like I said, is the dual attack in combination with your leader ability to reset or refill your drop. For the same reason I put this Vegeta in here. It's pretty expensive for this deck, I have to say, but it's a big minus everything basically. Minus 3 times, once on play, twice on swing. And it's a dual attack swing as well with double strike potential. So this could be a good game finisher at 1 or 2 if you need those big swings that minus token negates, that minus blockers, whatever. Out of those generic cards, which cards do you think are useful or you would put in your deck?
Defeating the Demon and Broly, I'm pretty sure. Also the trio, I want that because it's not specific. You have to, in any area energy, you have to 2 or 3, or your opponent you can play it if you have a red Saiyan or just a Saiyan. I'm not sure. Yeah. I think that is hyper speed Goten. I don't like it.
Yeah, me neither.
Vegeta, it's for 3 energy, for me too expensive to play. It's a side deck option in Kitku. It was a side deck option in Kitku, but I don't feel it in the first look at this in this deck. The SS4 Son Goku, maybe because for 125 duel, it's nice. Maybe, but I'm not sure if you have too much space in your deck for
this might be a problem.
Yeah.
Then we have the secret rare choice. You have, in our opinion, two choices. First is the obvious one with Vegito. Second one, and maybe the one we are leaning more towards to, is Evil Saiyan, because you warp from the top of your deck. So there's at least 2 times a chance that you warp your secret. So 4 cards will be warped. And you have the check lands anyway, so why not play Evil Saiyan, which can warp a life, negates every floodgate your opponent is playing, and so on and so on. Also, I don't think Vegito is the best choice for the deck, because you might want to use your Overram on another card, or you might want to use your drop in another way. But if you're not afraid to warp, this, I guess, is also a very solid choice. And like I said, maybe we'll see another secret.
And here's also the thing, because you have to mono red. The Brolys are mono red in your energy.
Exactly, you can use this effect.
Yes. I think if you want to play more aggressive, is Evil Saiyan the better choice. And also, crit life. Take a look in the life. You warp something, ignore barrier. You can play from your opponent's warp some card. This in to play in red it's too good. I'm pretty sure I want to play Evil Saiyan. It's great that you have these 2 choices. The best red one for me and the best black one.
Crazy.
Completely crazy. Yeah. But I'm more to Evil Saiyan.
Yeah, me too. Just by chances, because I see myself warping my secret.
Yes.
I don't want that. Then going over the best barrier removal in the game, we hinted at it when we talked about Broly. I think this one is way better. You will warp 1 copy at least from the top of your deck or from your hand anyways. I guess you will run 3 or 4 copies of him. And then if you need a barrier removal, you can just play him from ROM, from your hand. And he has even the chance to be a 25k double striker. I think this is better than Broly.
Yeah, and you have to at least 3 copies to play, because you want 1 on your hand and 1 in drop warp. It's a good barrier removal that you can run. This one for 1 energy in red is it's great.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you just play so much cards from your Z deck, so maybe it's when you play it you can hit maybe 8, 9 or 10 or less. And so I have to run 3 or 4. Also more to 4 than to 3. Yes.
Me as well. Then speaking about overrams, we have the whole Vegito package here. So we were looking over generic overram cards, like we told you. For these 2 guys, Majin Vegeta and Rosé, you need 6 cards in your drop and send them to their warp. So we were thinking about, okay, can we somehow also do an overram? And the best cards for that are either Beyond All Limits, because you can recycle also a combo you might warp. Or you can play something more generic, like this one here, where you can use a mono black battle card with 5k combo power from your warp, which is not only himself, but also those guys if you want to. So I guess this will be a pretty good choice for overram either way, because, like I said, you can easily get to 4 even if you play one of those from your warp. And then you can play him, he resets himself, you combo with something from warp, you get Z energy, and so on and so on. I don't know if it's worth running the Vegito package though, because it feels like setting up this one might be too far off, because your deck might want to do other stuff, because it just reads better.
Yeah, you have to run a few black cards. The good thing is that the Broly is also a black card, because the 4-drop just combo from warp with a black card.
Exactly.
So yeah, you have this too. I'm sure you have to run the overwhelm combo attack, because you draw 1, you combo, and also just 4 for overwhelm. It's good in this deck. So I think that is my first choice for overwhelm. Maybe the Beyond All Limits. Then you have to, you need a few test games, because if you can play this 6 Vegito is my question. I love this card. This card was pretty good. It's amazing, but yeah, do you have the energy? Do you have the pieces to set it up? I'm not sure. You have to test it.
Yeah, you have to test it. There might be a way. I'm coming to that way in a second, together with this card and another one. Talking about other black nice choices, this costs 2. However, this resets your drop when every time it swings, but only with black battle cards. So I think using this card is a little bit dependent on how much black you're really playing and how much black you want there. It's an easy way to refill your drop, so you can free play this and overwhelm easily with that card for an overwhelm 6. But again, it also costs 2. However, it's a dual attack, which is good for your leader ability. I'm not sure. Maybe try it out. If you feel like you will never play it, then yeah, put it away again, I guess. Talking about one of the best floodgates in the game, which you can run now as well, is Bardock the Tenacious. I think this is a must include at least one or two of, for sure.
100%, you have to.
And then we have this nice choice of a black-red card, which is the Bardock. Basically, red struggles a little bit when it comes to counterplays, and at least for 2 energies, because you don't have multicolor energy, but red, black, and mono-red energy, you can at least counterplay something. So if you get floodgated and you still have a lot of energy open, you can consider playing this. Maybe this is good as a one-off or as a side deck option if you fear a matchup like, I don't know, I think A21 does play a 25k buddy, but Ready to Rumble or something, this might be a good counterplay against that for 2. Coming to the Z deck, since we're already like 36 minutes into the talking, we will quickly go over the Z deck. You can play this. It's also a great choice to draw 2 and discard 2 to set up the next play you want to do. And if you have 2 combo attacks in your hand, I mean, why not play both of them, right? It's a great way to do so.
Take a look at the activate main if your leader is black, so you don't get Wormhole.
Okay, you don't get Wormhole, but at least you get the cycle when you overrun. Yeah. So it might be a cool option you want to do. Then this is an interaction I found today. You have these Gohan boss monsters. So if you really want to play a Red Z extra and you don't want to play the generic red one, you can also play this. Because for a total of 2 energy and 1 Z energy, your Gohan superhero battle cards get a 50k boost and double strike. However, your Gohan just has 1 swing, so if that swing gets negated, you can't do shit with that thing. Because it's only live when your Gohan is attacking. I don't think it's a great choice, but I just want to mention that you can use this card now also in combination with the new Gohan boss monster, which is generic. Then I think this might be the card together with combo attack where you can put your Vegeta up. You can play this for 1 or 2. You will have a lot of cards in your drop or warp, so you have this effect live. This card is not bound to your leader being black. And yeah, this might be a way together with combo attack how you could set up SS4 Vegeta for a total of 2 black energy.
Yeah, also it's great, the cards that you have to remove from the game, it doesn't have to be black, just 10 cards. That is also
just
great.
10 cards. Just 10 cards. And if you do a Union Potara over that, it keeps the push. So your Vegeta is a 40k double strike. I think this playline might be a good one if you really want to go for the SS4 Vegeta playline. Yes. Then also black generic battle cards, I don't think they will see play. So for 2 black and 3 Z energy, you get this one out if you have your Beyond All Limits or combo attack out. It's a triple attack. I don't think triple attack is cool nowadays because it gets floodgated, time magic, whatever anyway. It's there, just wanted to show that. Also like this Gohan card, forget about this effect, you won't get the ignoring barrier thingy. But at least you get a barrier, deflect, double striker, at least 25k. Comes down to how many other Z cards you have in play, Z Unison, Z Extra, if this card is worth running. I feel like it's not worth running. You don't have an in-archetype Z Leader, you don't have an in-archetype Z Extra, you don't have an in-archetype Z Unison. Just wanted to show that this card is also be runnable, but without this effect. Then we have one of the most generic cards, Defender of Life. I mean,
Yeah,
you
have
can
to
just
play it.
snipe at damage. You combo for free anyways from your warp. And for 2 and 3, you not only fill your drop up pretty quick, but you also snipe alive, and you have 20k double with barrier. I mean,
That's the thing, you can crit 1 life with that card and also with the Evil Saiyan, so you have 2 cards.
with the Son Goku, if it gets negated.
Yes.
It's good. Then a Unison of choice, you always run this in case you get battle card floodgated. An awesome choice. Does so much, wipes the board, resets, pushes your leader. Just run it as a 1-off or 2-off. Then this one is also pretty good because you have cards with 30,000 power or more. The Beast and the Vegeta are both 30k boss monsters. So if you just need this one final push, you can play him for 1 and 2. You can KO something and then you can swing in his face with a 25k double striker. Awesome. I think also a must include as a final push. Besides this one, I think they are both doing a similar job. Maybe it's down to preference, or like if you have red or red-black energy open. Then we have the archetype cards. So this basically is not a 6-drop. This is more like a 2-drop. Because for each Saiyan in your warp, no matter the color, it reduces its cost by 1 black. So in the best case scenario, you play it for 2 and 1. And when you play him and you send 1 Saiyan card from your drop to your warp, you can minus something of 20. Or when your opponent plays a battle card, you can also minus of 20. This is pretty annoying for your opponent because the first card they're playing is getting a minus. This is really annoying. And then we have the other card. Oh, I didn't include that. We have a generic the Exile, but there's also another card. I can show you that. Came also with the deck. It's a Gogeta card, which is also like pretty generic. So instead of paying 4 and 2, you just pay 1 and 2. And you place 1 Son Goku and 1 Vegeta from your warp into your drop. You want to do this. For 1 and 2, you get a Deflect unique double strike barrier card, which kills your drop again. I think this is broken. and I don't think printing this card was a good idea. I mean, 20k double strike, deflect barrier double strike. So basically uninteractable for your opponent. And you generate Z energy anyways with your leaders. So this is a must play.
Yeah, but I'm also that you are getting, I think you're getting a lot of Z energy. You have to play the rush attack, Vegeta.
Yeah,
100%. You have to, because it's also minus in Unison.
Yeah.
You have a good pool now on black and red cards that you can play. I think it's a powerful combo. I'm pretty hyped for the deck.
Yeah, me as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, this concludes our like 43 minutes long talk about this deck, what cards to include. We will test this deck a lot. I think you will definitely see it in the streams, in the upcoming streams of our locals, or maybe in a deck profile, or maybe even in a matchup we record. And yeah, I hope you liked everything. Mirco, any last words? Any last thoughts?
It's just, the deck is just like I don't know, a wet dream comes true for me, so I'm pretty excited for this deck. It's my deck from BT27. Yeah, I'm completely hyped. Yeah.
Nice, sounds good. Yeah. Then guys, don't forget to like the video. If you have any questions or any more suggestions for the deck, feel free to post that in the comments, and we see each other next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.